Okay, so here we go. We've got the PS5 showcase tonight, and probably my most excited reaction so far on this channel was probably how I reacted to the other PS5 showcase, and honestly, I'm amazed so far with what I've seen. Game-wise, that is. I don't know what constitutes good graphics and what doesn't. So, bit of background for today. I've um I've been kind of just I don't know why I'm saying background like this is important. I've been watching a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean recently. Because of my constant playing of Sea of Thieves, I've kind of decided it's a good idea to to watch Pirates of the Caribbean as well. Mostly so I can spout Caribbean references at like Pirates of the Caribbean references at my teammates. We teamed up with another crew and they betrayed us. If only I'd betrayed them when I planned to. Honestly, that was quite the experience. But like the last thing I said to one of them was on the ferry of the damned, and I was just like, let this be remembered as the day you almost caught me. The sentence kind of got away from me, but like, it was hilarious. I fucking loved it. We nearly had them as well. Like, we nearly managed to steal their ship, until it fucking despawned. Because that's the reason we ended up in that situation. Basically, our ship had despawned while me and one of my teammates were on board the ship. And so, also, Banjo's in the way of my camera. But, so, we're on our ship, just getting ready to go and collect some more stuff from the island we were on as part of a tall tale. And oh wait, no, it was at an outpost. So we head on to the outpost, and me and my teammate were on the ship with another crew member, like with another member of another crew, because we teamed up like just for a few minutes because like one of my teammates is more of a pacifist in game, and she's like, please don't shoot us, we're doing a tall tale. So they actually went ahead with it and didn't just nick the bloody crown thing we were holding. It was brilliant, really. Like, I do like Sea of Thieves, even if I think it's a little bit limited. I do enjoy it. And Discord is a thing that exists. I'm going to... Yeah, it's Game Explain. This will probably be about the PS5 showcase. Yeah. So yeah, that's how things went with Sea of Thieves, because that's how things always go for me. Because I have to get betrayed at some point, don't I? Bloody hell, it really is like living in Pirates of the Caribbean. But no. Unlike one of our first sessions of playing, this friend of mine, like, who's in our crew that's a pacifist, she came up with her own version of the pirate code, and I can't remember most of it. But if it gets brought up again, I just wanna be like, yeah, the code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules. Bloody hell, Barbosa is full of like comedy gold, but I've got absolutely no idea why I decided to tell that story. But like, there we go. That's the thing we did. I also recently started Horizon Zero Dawn, as I've probably mentioned at some point. So far, I like it. It's a little bit, it feels a little bit sandboxy. And I'm not too fond of having a limited resource space. I don't like inventory limits at the best of times, and I especially don't like it when it's crafting resources. I think that you should be allowed to get as many different kinds of items as you like when it comes to that sort of stuff. But I'm liking it a bit more than I like Breath of the Wild, which I'm also playing in Master Mode at the minute on my Switch. I've been playing a lot of Super Metroid, but I've kind of had to stop because I got to a certain point and was so stuck. And because I only occasionally follow a walkthrough, I'm pretty much fucked when it comes to it. Because I have to try and, like, move myself all the way back to the part where the walkthrough begins. It's honestly such a pain. And another thing I did was give Fall Guys a go. And I don't like it that much. But it's cool. I'm not the biggest fan of that sort of game in the first place. I'd rather actually go on Wipeout. You know, Total Wipeout. That show was brilliant when I was younger. I used to love that show. Honestly, I used to watch it and basically say, this is what I want to do when I grow up. I want to go and get the shit knocked out of me by a punching bag or something. And then there was Splat a lot on CBBC around those same years, which was pretty much the same thing just with kids. If I could have gotten on that show, I would have. To be fair, game shows like that were pretty common for the time. You had Ben 10 Ultimate Challenge and Skatoony on Cartoon Network, and those were just brilliant. Like, I absolutely loved both of them. I fucking love Skatoony. Like, I rewatched a few of them a few weeks ago. Might have been months, actually. Time hasn't exactly been something I've been keeping track of. So, I rewatch it. Because, why not? It got suggested to me on YouTube. And, the guy with the glasses, I don't remember his actual name. But I fucking love him. Like, the presenter of it. It's so brilliant. Then, I need to catch an old episode of Ben 10 Ultimate Challenge, to be fair. Because I don't remember what actually happened in the game show. I just remember it kind of existing and me watching it one day before going to a laser quest. And we're beginning! Hey, that's nice. Love it when we do that. I don't actually know how long this is. I don't know how my commentary is today, like, I don't know how, like, loud it is. I suspect it could be pretty loud. The Sackboy game is weird. Hey, Horizon. I'm not looking forward to fighting that thing, to be honest. Okay. Not particularly fond of when they do stuff like that. Capture things on PC. Also, we've got another one of these sorts of things coming tomorrow because Nintendo have another indie showcase coming. Not indie. Partner. Good soldiers follow orders. Good soldiers follow orders. I fucking love it. You know, I fucking love... Oh, this is Final Fantasy, I think. I vaguely remember making a similar mistake on the previous PS5 stream. No, this is very Final Fantasy. Because it ain't Dragon Quest. That actually does have a stylistic choice. But this, like, Final Fantasy became very anime-ish. Especially in its later years. I don't know what the point of me saying like that is. It's just a Japanese art style. Most of it's anime if you think about it. With regards to different shows on Cartoon Network, moving a bit away from game shows, but still on. But thinking about anime style, you've got like Robot Boy, which was like the most anime, non-anime ever. And I fucking loved that show as a kid. And then I rewatched it when I saw it on YouTube a few years ago. In fact, no, that isn't why. That isn't why. I watched it on YouTube when I was looking for specific episodes. Holy shit. That kid. So there's gonna be... Oh my god, he loses his family or something. Anyway, what I was gonna say was that Robot Boy. It used to rerun on Cartoon Network at about midnight every day, literally every day. You know, around the same time as they used to air cartoons on like Friday nights. Because England did have a version of it. Like, I know that there's very little evidence to suggest like Cartoon Fridays came to England, but it did, kind of. I only ever remember there being a repeating bumper. But that might just be because of the fact that it had the noise, and this was like 15 years ago, so I wouldn't have the best memory of it. I was only a kid back then. Like, I was only really young. 15 years might be pushing it, though. It was around 2008 time, shall we say. Which definitely wasn't 15 years ago. Holy shit. So it was Final Fantasy 16. Sorry, I really should be reacting to what's actually on screen rather than gushing over old cartoons I grew up with. Well, such is the way of things. You see, they did this last time. Not too fond of the intermission shit. Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. One game being shown on PC with, I'm assuming, settings that emulate. Holy shit, Miles. Great. Stupid question, but I'm assuming that it's the Miles from Spider-Man PS4. Okay. This is why I want a PS4 as soon as I can. No, not PS4. Moron. This is why I want to get a PS5 as soon as I can get my hands on one. But I'm a little bit preoccupied as far as purchases go for the next few months. Being as Age of Calamity is coming out, and I need to pick that up first. And, well, I don't exactly have money, so that's a thing. Oh. Give us an example of some of the new powers. Wait, trying to remember. The Tinkerer. I'm not 100% sure if bloody hell, is that the time? I can't even see the time. I've got a bottle in front of my screen. I really need to clean off my desk at some point. Bloody hell. I just want to see what sort of abilities Miles gets. That's what I want to see. Oh? That doesn't bode well for anyone. Here we go. Camouflage. Oh shit. I fucking love this. The, okay. When it comes to Spider-Man PS4, while I felt like it could have done with a little more variety than just a bunch of combat encounters, the combat encounters are perfect. Like, they feel perfect. They definitely feel like the natural evolution from Spider-Man 2 on PS2 and relating consoles. I had a blast with Spider-Man 2 when I played it. This being mere months before I got my PS4, I believe. I could be wrong about that specific fact, but... Oh. Okay, so... Gonna guess this is a prequel to Spider-Man PS4. And... I don't know America well enough to know where Harlem is. Strikes me as strange that you wouldn't have JJJ not, like, mentioning another Spider-Man. This gives me strong, every Spider-Man movie ever vibes. There we go. How often does Spider-Man have to do this? There's his main theme. There's always one, isn't there? Also, They really need to just stop having bridges in these cities. What is it? All the important action pieces take place on bridges these days? Okay. Not fond of the fact there's no release date at all. Holiday 2020 gives them a grand total of 3 months. Pretty much. Tops. But the game looks amazing. And I'm guessing it's so that they can wriggle out of that little release, wriggle out of whatever release date they need to, as and when they need to. I've got no reason not to trust Insomniac. They don't really do bullshit. I mean, is this... Oh, holy shit. This is what we've been hearing about. The that JK trolling has got nothing to do with. Or very little to do with. This is the open world Hogwarts game. Seriously, words. Hogwarts late 1800s, giving them as much creative freedom as they could need. Was there a war in between this point and the Fantastic Beasts timeline? Even though I don't consider any of that canon. But then again, I don't consider anything written after the 7th book canon. So... Except, the spin-off novels and stuff. I liked the first Fantastic Beasts and didn't watch the second. I wouldn't feel right about having anything to do with anything Rowling has got anything to do with anymore. Although I'll probably still pick this up. It depends. I need to see more. But I do believe I heard that it was going to be very free of bullshit. Doesn't mean I trust Warner Brothers with anything. Are they Dementors? Yeah, they are. Sorry, I'm not the biggest fan of J.K. Rowling anyway. I think she's a bit of an idiot. But some of her comments disturb me a bit. But that's not the point. Troll in the comments. There's a troll in the comments. Oh, I remember when it was actually... I remember the first time I saw that meme. I was quite young still. Strange they use Hedwig's theme, being as Hedwig and Harry are nowhere near born. There's going to be a Potter in the game though. Guaranteed. Harry and James's ancestor is in it somewhere. But no, I remember reading a bit about that. Can't remember what I heard besides that J.K. Rowling has little to no direct involvement. No, she's too busy writing books that are destined to fail. I'm way too smug about that. Raven. Well, it ain't gonna be Jedi Academy remastered, so... Well, remade completely from the ground up. So I don't care. Kidding. Now I don't care. I can't stand Call of Duty at the best of times without it being... Well, without it being 2020. Seriously, Activision, take a year off. Raven used to be really great. You know, having been the ones behind Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. Two of my favourite games of all time. Admittedly, the latter because of its modding scene. More than its story. But also because of its lightsaber combat, which was always top-notch. Movie duels is a great way of enhancing that experience, by the way. Not gonna lie, it doesn't seem too bad. Like, just from a visual standpoint, but this isn't any surprise to me. It does look gorgeous. The problem is Call of Duty is a style franchise and is never not going to be a style franchise because there's only so much you can do with a first-person shooter. Especially a gritty military warfare one. Although I've heard that this looks better than most Call of Duties, even from people that don't like Call of Duty at all. It's like I'm hearing that FIFA 21 is apparently a little bit better than most FIFAs as well. Okay. Fine for, like, the occasional kill. But do not make me a... Also, that UI looks horrendous, but, like... I just don't like the font. But what I was going to say is basically that whole slow-mo thing is fine for some kills, but do not make it a regular occurrence because otherwise it breaks the flow too much. In games like Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn, it makes sense to slow down during some kills. Well, while you're making the kill. Which is the difference. Slowing down time to help you aim. And that doesn't break the flow of the gameplay unless you're one of those that feels the need to get off your horse, jump off, to get on your horse, jump off your horse, shoot your arrow, get on your horse, jump off your horse, shoot your arrow. That's the only time it's ever going to get tedious. It's also a very good way of repositioning yourself if you're in a tight spot. Also, as far as Horizon goes, you can do it by sliding. Honestly, missing the point horrendously. Don't believe we've seen much new. Not sure if Final Fantasy is considered new. Ooh. Explosion. I like explosions. They keep me interested. But no, last Call of Duty I actively played was Black Ops 2. I briefly played Black Ops 3 at some point, but I don't really... I stopped caring about Call of Duty years ago. Like, there's sequels. Did that say Black Ops Cold War? I wasn't aware it was a Black Ops game, but I should have. It's not horrendous. Can we be truthful? It's a Black Ops game set in the Cold War. That's the other thing. I'm not too fond of realistic games overall because I think they age horrendously. And I think they're pretty boring, all things considered. But I do like... You see, educational games can be a pain in the ass. But I do like being put in the trenches of a proper, like, war. Of a real war that happened. I really quite like Medal of Honor Vanguard for the PS2. And that's a World War II game. And I did enjoy what I played of World War II Battle Over the Pacific. Another PS2 game. So, I do believe that there's a place for realistic games set in real time periods, set in real wars. Because it helps you gain appreciation for the whole thing. I don't want them all over the market because, personally, I think that's a bit pointless and boring. But, oh, Capcom. And that's a castle. I don't know why I pointed out that's a castle. We all know it is. Is this Resi? Hang on. Hang on, wait a second. Resident Evil is definitely Capcom. I remember there being a game with the subtitle Village for something. Was it a Resident Evil game? I don't remember. No idea. Oh, what the what? Is this like a Deathly Hallows? Oh god, getting Slender vibes. This reminds me of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. I think it was. When they had Luna's father tell them the story of the Deathly Hallows. And the art style that was used to kind of portray it. I think I've seen this game. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just trying to work out what it is. I'm 75% sure it's a Resident Evil game. Village, yeah. This is the one from around the end of the previous show. Resident Evil. I don't remember. I don't ever remember these things. But I remember there being Village, and I've been trying to work out ever since what it was. I'm waiting to hear about Silent Hills coming back. And you know what I mean when I say Silent Hills. I mean PT. Oh? Bethesda. Jim Sterling. I don't remember the rest of the dance anymore. I love the Bethesda rave. I think it's one of the best things that ever happened. What is my problem? Bloody hell. Not gonna lie, this does look more interesting than most of the shit they pump out. Like, on a completely real note, I think this looks really quite amusing and... yeah, amusing is the word to use. I love assassin games, and even though I can't play it for shit, I love Hitman. And I love old Assassin's Creed. But forgive my lack of trust in Bethesda, but it doesn't look like this was made on the Creation Engine. And yes, I can tell just by looking at a game. Bethesda, Creation Engine, Fallout 70 shit. Not Creation Engine, this. Unless they finally upgraded it. I don't know why I'm so weird. Just watch it not be the game I thought it was, but I remember this. Yeah, it's the Bethesda thing. And being as it's a cooperative thing and a PlayStation exclusive, yeah, it's not on the creation engine, meaning it'll be good, probably. It'll be like Doom. Everyone loves a bit of Doom. I love a bit of Doom. I think it's one of the most enlightening franchises ever. I was going through a load of old SNES games earlier on NSO, and I had a pretty decent time on Star Fox 2. I beat it for the first time ever. I still can't beat the first Star Fox, but that's not the point. My incompetence is not the point here. Okay, so something really weird has been going on with my Pro Controller, which is probably due to the MC5. Oh. Are you hiding a thing behind it? An upgrade behind it? That's the really important question to answer. But yeah, so basically, my Switch Pro Controller, it's really quite creaky now on its left stick. It still works perfectly. It's a little bit stiff, but it works about as well as you'd expect a Nintendo controller to work. But yeah, so that's a thing that's happened. I do still need to pick up this game and have a go of it. But I never beat the originals either. And I've never so much as played 4. So even though I have them even though I have the original 3 on PS2, I'm thinking of picking them up for my Switch. You see, my PS2 spends most of its time unplugged. So it makes more sense if I pick it up and play it on the Switch console, which I always have plugged in and always have hooked up to my TV overall. And even if I don't, I can just charge it up and play it on undocked. Because even though I don't use my Joy-Cons because this, like, I've got a drifting Joy-Con. And I'm trying to fix it myself because I really don't want to have to go through Nintendo's official process because it's long and tedious and I'm not entirely convinced it's coming back. Oh, it's Oddworld. Turns out Caddy knew a long time about this and had already played it. This is all so beautiful. Hang on a sec. Okay, so that's fine. One day I'll remember its actual subtitle, like before it gets shown, each time it gets mentioned. Good old Abe. I think I've got the demo disc with this on. Like, not this. But you know what I mean. I'm really interested to see if I've got anything new in store. Although, I don't care so much about, like, new reveals as much as I care about pricing. And to see if they've decided to up the ante with their Game Pass, so to speak. And you've got the whole... Oh, shit, this is what Kyle was talking about. This was what Prem was talking about. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know why I set up for this. I don't even like the franchise these days. I hardly liked it to begin with, but, like, I liked it enough. This is definitely FNAF. Because someone that was involved, like, with the franchise had gone silent for months and basically retweeted the PS5 thing, apparently. What, are we going for a full-on story-based FNAF game? No, fuck you for that. No, 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 no. Oh, have I actually made it good? I have FNAF 4. I can't play it because I don't like horror games that much. Because, for the record, I'm not scared of horror games. No, my meaningless video did not say otherwise. But my problem with them, and I did explain this in the video, was that when you get jump scared, you also have to restart the level. I cannot stand losing all my progress in a level. So I've never beaten Slender either. That is either version of it. Even though I purchased The Arrival because around the same time as I purchased Octodad. One of which I've beaten numerous times, one of which I have never beaten. Because you gotta love Octodad. I do believe I shared a memory of Octodad. Like, I shared a live stream clip. From me playing the mod known as Wrecking Blub. It really is warm. What's this game? Which reminds me, Young Horse is right after the Bug Snacks reveal. Just tweeted the phrase on Twitter. Nobody suspects a thing, which is the Octodad tagline. As it was part of the Octodad theme song. Octodad, nobody suspects a thing. Also, is this Dark Souls or something? How would I know? I've played it once in my entire life. And that was on the Switch Network test. It's not my type of game. I say that loving Fallen Order, though. But I suppose if you put Star Wars in anything, I can probably like it. Nah, it's because my favourite moment in all the Star Wars was brought back in Fallen Order. And I'm pretty sure, just from me saying that, all of you know pretty much what I'm talking about. That moment. I've got a massive thing for that one scene in Revenge of the Sith, and then again in Clone Wars and pretty much every other time it's shown up in something. I love the Kanan comic, and I love repeating it in Knights of the Force 2.1, which is how I played Jedi Academy on stream. This is definitely Dark Souls. You can tell based on the combat and the fact that they're showing getting hit. You see, if it wasn't part of the appeal to be shit at the game. Also, there's some level of parrying, albeit awful parrying. Yeah, this is Dark Souls, it has to be. Dark Souls 4 then. Giant spider. That's a great way of making me not want to buy your game. Giant dragon in a game where dying is pretty easy. That's another great way of doing it. The gates of hell seem to be showing up. Oh, Demon Souls. Sorry, I still don't know the difference between the two. Though it explains the whole Gates of Hell thing, I suppose. Hey, I was close. I don't know the dealio with Demon Souls. I'm not familiar with the IP. So, you're going to have to bear with me with Demon Souls. I know it's a big thing to a lot of people. Doesn't mean I don't care, because I think it's quite entertaining. I think it looks quite good. Oh? Oh? Oh. You know, I knew it looked like Fortnite, but I couldn't quite. Partly wanting to believe that they weren't going to do Fortnite. Are there vehicles in this game now? Wasn't like the only difference between PUBG and Fortnite that Fortnite didn't have vehicles and it had building? So now effectively PUBG is redundant, is what you're telling me. Although it was never particularly not redundant. The only people that really played PUBG were people that like their games gritty and realistic and manly min and all that. Which is mostly Xbox players, but like that's not the point. Ooh, God of War. So they've got an upgrade for God of War. They've got an upgrade for Monster Hunter World, which I need to play. Final Fantasy 15 gets an upgrade. Uncharted. Which means Last of Us 2 definitely gets an upgrade. Days Gone. Until Dawn. Detroit. Huh, they haven't shown Last of Us 2 having an upgrade. Never mind, they're still showing games. Though these are third party now. Rather than first and second. Arkham Knight gets an upgrade. Are we finally living up to the... Nah, I don't think it was Arkham Knight that had the issues with its port. I think it was Arkham Asylum. The Last of Us Remastered gets an upgrade. Which means... You never see it coming. I gotta love half of these games. I still want to pick up Persona 5. Huh. Is Last of Us 2 just not getting an upgrade then? PlayStation Plus collection. Oh, I see. Hence the lack of any recently released exclusives. I assumed it was just an upgrade, like an upgrade update. That's good, because it means I'm not going to have to pay for Persona 5 beyond a subscription. If I'm correct about this, and it's not a shitty way of doing backwards compatibility. Because let's face it, that is something this lot would do. Like, I love Sony to pieces right now, as they've essentially replaced what Nintendo used to be for me. Because of the PS4, and even my connection to the PS2, which I mostly remember for Shrek games, but that is beyond the point that I'm trying to make today. But Sony have done some shitty things in the last couple of years. Their insistence on never even trying to do backwards compatibility off of PS Now. Also, I suppose that's kind of like Game Pass. Okay, we knew about this. Wait. 449.99 on November 19th. Bloody hell. Oh, that is not what you want to announce when Xbox have got like half the price. Oh, shit. This is the end of it. Nah, to be fair, PS5 is arguably more worth it. Xbox are playing a whole different ball game right now. It's going to be a while before I can pick this up then. Okay. This kind of thing is always a new announcement. I don't know what this symbolises. However, I trust it's God of War. It has to be. I mean, I knew from the moment I saw Ice, but like, yes, I'd better get playing the first one then. Like, not the first one, the fourth one, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yes! God of War Ragnarok in 2021. I'd better get ready then. I'm gonna need to pick it up. Oh shit. The 2021 lineup is currently booming, like, and this is why they can sell a console for more than Xbox can. You see, Xbox is about the consumer and getting as much for as little as possible, because they want kind of like recurring spending, not like they don't want you paying for your game one off, and it's a clever way of doing it. It proves what I've been saying for a long time now. It's very possible to be consumer friendly and earn a lot of money. Game Pass is currently booming because of all the people using it on their PCs as well. Like, I use Game Pass for Sea of Thieves mostly. And I just love it. Meanwhile, with Sony, you're paying for brands as well, which I'm not entirely in favour of. But, like, I can't say that 450 is a particularly bad price. Like, even considering what Xbox are currently doing. I can't say that any of this is a particularly bad, like, pricing. But I'm interested in that Ratchet and Clank game. Okay. Wasn't as good as the previous one, but what you've got to remember is that Sony have, in the previous live stream, Sony revealed a lot of different games. And that means that they limited how much they could reveal for, like in this one. I wasn't particularly fond of how they started with. I wasn't particularly fond of how they started with GTA 5 in the first stream, but they made up for it with all the exclusives they announced. You see, I appreciate each console for different things. I appreciate Microsoft for Game Pass and its consumer-friendly policies, which are mostly Phil the People Pleaser Spencer trying to make up for lost time. You know, because his predecessor wasn't exactly competent. And, you know, that led to the failure of the Xbox One very early on. But Phil pulled it around because Phil is amazing. And he's even getting Rare to do some really cool stuff. Because, as you saw, I really like Battletoads. And, as you also know, I'm quite fond of Sea of Thieves. Now, I wasn't anywhere near launch. I wasn't for a very long time. I thought it was atrocious. But it's the sort of game you need to play with people. And you need your mic actually on for it. So, you've got that. You've got that whole thing. But I really, really, really love what they've shown. I appreciate Sony for its exclusives and, like, the kind of bargains you find on the PS Store for some of the older games. And more to the point on Crew's PC World. Because I do love a bit of Crew's PC World. Which is where I got Horizon and God of War. I also appreciate Spider-Man, although I do wish Sony wouldn't be holding him hostage in the Avengers game, although I don't like what I've seen of that game. To be honest, altogether, the Avengers game. I think it looks pretty bad. An Avengers game should not just be Destiny. But that is not the point I'm trying to make here. And then you've got Nintendo. I appreciate them for Zelda. That's it. Like, no, kidding. I really quite like Metroid as well. And, for the most part, Mario. And Kirby ain't exactly bad. And Star Fox used to be good. I just think that I need to kind of make Miyamoto step down and stop him from holding games hostage. F-Zero, F-Zero, F-Zero. Seriously, I want a 30-man racing game out of that. Like, I want a 30-player racing game across their online service, except I know full well it couldn't handle it. But that's, again, not the point I'm trying to make here. So, the point is each console has its own thing to offer. And that means that each console will always be worth it to me. I'm not loyal to a particular platform, as I've probably mentioned way too much. I'm not loyal to Nintendo, even though I used to be, because they fuck up a lot, to be honest. And it's quite frustrating to watch as a lifelong fan. I have never been loyal to Microsoft. In fact, I actually hated their asses for Rare for years, because I'm not even close to a fan of nuts and bolts. I think the game was atrocious, and even from a non-Banjo perspective, in fact, the only redeeming factors come from the Banjo characters. Trophy Thomas was shit, but Grunty was amazing still, and Kazooie was amazing still. And even Bottles had some charm. But, anyway, and with Sony, I was never loyal to them, ever. I loved the PS2 growing up, because of Shrek Smash and Crash Racing being... It was like a Friday night game for me. Basically, when I was younger, we used to have Chippy every Friday night, like, we still kind of do, but, like, not always Chippy anymore. But, like, back then it was always Chippy from the place around the corner from us. And I remember one day my cousin came over, and we hooked up the PS2, and I was just playing Smash and Crash Racing for that night. That's probably one of my favourite memories as far as the PS2 goes. And I remember playing a lot of Sonic Riders Zero Gravity on it. But that's beside the point as well. The point is I have a lot of fond memories with the PS2, but I didn't get a PS3. Although I nearly did because my dad was given one to try and fix, and we were told that if he could fix it, he could keep it. The disc tray went, is effectively what was wrong. Which meant it wouldn't work at all. The PS3 really was a fucking broken ass console. And the PS4, because I was still a Nintendo loyalist at the time, I pretty much hated it for years and years and years. And then a couple of years into the Switch, and I'm kind of running out of games to play. And then Spider-Man drops. And from that point on, I was pretty much hooked on the idea of getting a PS4, so I got one at the end of that year. And ever since, I've been playing catch-up with Sony's exclusives, especially since March this year, because I finally got around to playing the first Last of Us game, which I loved. I'm really attached to the characters of it. I can no longer play it because of gameplay issues that I've got coming from the second one, which, unlike a fair number of people, I also loved. Not as much as the first one, but I loved it. You know, the first one is a masterpiece. Very few movie sequels ever beat their predecessor. And The Last of Us was more like a movie than a game. But the gameplay improvements are astounding. I really quite liked blowing things up in it. I still plan to get a review out for that game because I've got the audio recorded for it. I just haven't got around to transferring any of my footage. But that's the thing. And then we've got... Let me just go and check my Discord a moment. There we go, it's Prem. But, like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what I've been really good for not losing my train of thought throughout this. And it impresses me, actually, because usually I lose my train of thought a lot. But no, so another thing I played was Shadow of the Colossus, which I love it. I love how it feels. It felt like Breath of the Wild to a degree, with the whole climbing stone monsters and destroying it. But, you know, actually good. Not too fond of stamina meters, but it makes sense for what the game is. But I'm never fond of stamina meters, mostly because I'm shit at climbing in everything. Honestly, I love it. I played a little bit of Persona 5 when it was on PS Now. I never renewed my PS Now, but I do like what I played, what little I played. The schedule system could take some getting used to, but hey, one of my favourite games ever made was Majora's Mask. In fact, I'd be inclined to say it's possibly one of my top 3. But what I played of God of War when it was on PS Now, beautiful. I got to about Alfheim, and it's pretty good. The combat is satisfying. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So, if you enjoyed kind of what you saw today, then join me for different videos and streams. Yeah. So I'm going to be trying to get my streams working again soon, because my computer problems are preventing me from doing anything. There's a few things I need to try out before I do that, but I do want to get back to that. So, I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I'll see you around at some point. We need better share functions in systems, by the way.